I have to be honest with you guys, it's been a tough day and I'm feeling pretty lonely.
I know you wanna go to
Oh, no way! Oh, oh my God, a Tusky! Yeah! Big, that's a big crab. When you're out here by yourself, you just got no room for error. For the next 3 weeks, I'm heading out by myself on an annual solo trip into a remote wilderness area. This time, it's in the northern reaches of Australia. And I'll be honest with you, I'm pretty nervous. Not only does it test yourself sort of mentally and physically, but there's a hell of a lot of dangerous animals. There's big saltwater crocodiles. There's a lot unexpected around every twist and turn, and I'm not familiar with the area. It's something that I'm trying to do every year though, and I'm looking forward to sharing it with you guys. We've got a hell of a long drive ahead of us, packing the gear up, packing the truck up, and we're heading north. Sort of off on a goat trail at the moment, trying to find somewhere to sleep tonight. Ideally, with a view of the ocean. Have a go at this. Wow. Private beach. All right, I've just got to this beach. The sun is gonna set in about 2 hours time. At home when I was packing, I basically threw the contents of my shed and my office into the truck, into the boat. So I need to organize it and get everything properly packed before launching for the next couple of weeks tomorrow morning. Although I had the boat cover over the boat, there's not too much, doesn't have dust on it, unfortunately. But that's fishing. All right, so it's 3:30 in the afternoon. Drove most of the day, but I finally made it out of the bush, well, to where the bush meets the sea anyway, onto this beach that looks like a couple of people have been in the last few weeks, but I've got it all to myself at the moment. Low tide incoming, few mangroves over there, lone coconut tree at the end, and this is where I'm gonna be packing up to make sure that head to toe of the boat is all set and ready to go for the next couple of weeks solo along this edge of the coast. If you would like to know an in-detail pack list of everything that I'm taking, safety gear, fishing gear, hunting gear, camping gear, cooking gear, all that sort of stuff, jump onto our Patreon page, as I just posted a full list for our Patreons. So you can check that out, link in the description. But for now, I need to do some packing. There's only one thing missing from this sunset, and that's a fire. Some would argue that a cold beer would also be necessary to go along with the fire and the sunset, but I am having an alcohol-free trip. Day one, well, day two. I've been driving for 2 days, but mission success so far. We've made it here, we've made it. Boat goes in the morning. See you then. Just got the boat in the water. She's windy, she's rough, she's overcast, but man, I feel alive. Let's do it. Not all great trips start off with blue skies, rainbows, and a calm ocean. Just getting soaked. It's howling about 25 knots, and the GPS won't pick up my position, but anyway, I'm gonna hug the coast and I'm gonna start heading north. Been on for the last 2 hours. Found a river system that I'm keen to go up and find a camp. It's really low tide and there's lots of sandbars and it's very hard to navigate. I just hit a sandbar, run out of water again. I'm gonna have to find a different way into this creek. A very big open mouth river system and there's lots of sandbars and gutters. The water's dirty, it's very difficult to see where's shallow and where's deep enough. spotted a mud crab. I don't know if it's male or female, but what you're looking for in here is pools of water like that. That could lead back to a deeper hole, low-lying little pools, or little drains that you can walk up, or really big logs, or huge big mangrove trunks where there's a lot of structure at the bottom. I'm half thinking of running back to the boat and getting the hand spear to try and spear it. It'll be very difficult to get it with the machete, especially if that hole goes really deep in, but that's a really good sign. I wasn't sure if we were going to find mud crabs. There's no guarantees out here. I don't know where it went. Normally I'd throw my hand in, but again, being by myself, the last thing I want on day 3 of the trip, my hand smashed in by a big angry mud crab. When you get into the mangroves, if you can get a high vantage point to get a look at where you're at and where you're going, make sure you do. I got up on this big fallen log, which is perfect. It's just like a big plank taking me to where this little drain is. So I'm gonna follow this drain, see if there's anything along the edge of it. We're also looking out for these mud mussels. Quite often they'll just have like a little bit of their lip sticking out. Very, very tasty. You just put them on the fire, but this one's empty. I trudged through the mud and monkeyed my way through the mangroves for 30-45 minutes and only saw that one crab. No luck. We'll keep looking for food. The pressure is truly on now. There is quite significant hunger in the camp. We'll grab the rod and go for a walk, see if we can get a queenie or a trevally. At the mouth of the river, there's a small little creek. Wow, that wind's blowing. Let's see if we can get a fish. Big barrel, big barrel. There's like a little sandbar, probably 6 meters off the edge of the water, and there's a little gully here. Seems as though the fish are just sitting in that tiny little bit deeper water here. Ready, ready. That was a hit. Right, so I've got to change up tactics. This just isn't hooking the fish. I've had probably 6 really strong inquiries or takes, and that just hasn't worked. So I'm going for something that's gold and shiny with a couple of trebles. Oh, good barra. I just got hit by a really good barra. I hope you saw that. It took it in really shallow water. Oh, yep. Can't believe that. And that, my friends, is what you call dinner. Beautiful barramundi. I'm just gonna throw this up and keep it live and do a few more casts and see if I can catch anything else, but if I don't, this is definitely dinner. I've come into this river on dead low tide. It's a 0.4 low tide. Very difficult to get in, just kept hitting sandbars. Water's really dirty, can't see anything, super windy, light rain, low cloud. There's a bit going on, and I've sussed out a spot where I think it'd be good to camp, but I thought it'd be definitely worth having a flick on low tide in these small concentrated little pools and drains in hope to get a fish, and got a barra. I'll have a few more casts. Yeah, oh, I just hooked another barra pretty much in the same spot. Oh, that's a good fish. Fuck, that's an absolute cracker of a fish. This one is about the same size, maybe a little bit thicker, but I've actually hooked it through the gill. See how you can see that there's some blood coming out? I've nicked one of the gills. So this other one is alive. I'm gonna throw it back in the water and keep this one for dinner. And then we should go set up a camp before it gets too dark. Normally, I'd like to swim fish like this, but barramundi are very hardy. Oh yeah, see how lively he is? He's been sitting up there for, I don't know, 5 minutes. Look at that. Straight away he's off. Yeah, I don't want to go too close to the water. Yeah, I'm just erring more than I normally would on a high degree of caution, but I'm absolutely chuffed with that. See what I mean? I nicked that gill and he's already bleeding himself, but there's nothing wrong with that. We'll do that on the coals later with a few potatoes. Let's go back to the boat and go find a camp. I'd have to say one of my greatest fears about doing this by myself would be having the boat anchored up and me being a mile away from it right now, or going for a walk and then coming back and the boat not being there. But here at the mouth of this river, I'm not sure what I'd do. Swimming after it would leave you at an extremely high chance of getting hit by a saltwater crocodile. Just about all of the mouths of these rivers have a big resident male dominant saltwater crocodile. So yeah, it's something I think about though, so I always triple check the anchor. Otherwise you'll be in serious shit. And that there is the sight you want to see. Boat just anchored right where you left it. Just come over to the other side of the river where there's quite a lot of she oak trees, which are really good shade. Looks like maybe in years gone by, a couple of other people have camped here. Looks like there's remains of an old camp, maybe some local Aboriginals or other sort of travellers passing through. But this is where I'm going to call home for the next couple of days, just up under these trees here. Barra in a tree. You can see there's some old iron. Keep clean. A message to the world. I'm sure you can hear it, but it's quieter behind here. It's extremely windy. So fortunately there is some iron here where previous people who've been here have had similar conditions. So this is going to be used as a barrier to be able to get a fire going and cook that barramundi up. What do you reckon though? Not bad. View of the creek. The big mouth of the creek. Need to be honest with you, I'm feeling extremely alone out here. Very alone. I really thought I found a glass bubble there for a second up in this tree, but it's just a ginormous light bulb. What a bizarre thing to find on a beach. Look at that, up in the head of it's full of green ants. Sorry mate, I can't get you to a bin. I'm limited on room. Yeah, there's just so much rubbish washed up all through the mangroves, up well above the high tide line, all over the beach, sand all over it. It's buried within the sand. Pretty tragic. Just another reminder just to use less and recycle more. The camp's coming along. We'll get a fire going soon. That tide started to flood in now, and with it bringing in a lot of the bigger fish that went out on the outgoing tide. They're coming in chasing all the mullet, the herring, and the creek's coming back to life. There's a fair few birds working in the middle of the mouth, and I don't think I can just sit here and watch them. So while this fire's gonna get down to a nice coal base, I reckon we jump in the boat, go out and have a look. Yeah, that tide's rushing in. Let's do it. From my camp, crooks. But my tactic is I'm going to just troll slowly through the middle of this channel and go over towards where the birds and the bait are working, in hope something will take the lure. Oh, I just got a good hit on each rod. I must have gone through a school. No hookups, just foreplay. Very light touch. Oh, oh, oh. Yep, yep, yep. Yep, oh. Yee-hoo-hoo! Oh, this is a half decent fish. Look at that. Oh, find the birds, find the bait, finds the fish. This is running back to Cooktown. Interested to see what it is. Could be a little GT. Oh, GT. And it is your lucky day, my friend, because we've got barramundi for dinner. But GT, probably that big and smaller, are really good chewing. But when they get a bit big, they get tough. Yeah, the Jeet. Oh, that'd be perfect eating size. Way! Nice little Jeet. We'll get you back in the water, mate. See you, mate. Off like a rocket. Straight out the front of camp. We'll do one more round. What do you reckon? Then we'll go back and cook that barra. Out the back. Just squirt out the back. Woohoo! Oh! Oh! Try the reverse option. Yeah, that gets them, mate. Oh, away from the prop. Oh, a bit of variety. Look at this. Oh yeah. Queenfish. The queenies, look on the top of its back there. See those sharp spikes? And straight under the belly as well. They'll do a real nasty job on you. So if you ever catch one of these, don't do what I did the first 50 times I caught them and spike yourself. A little bit bigger than that, and I'd be eating it if I didn't have any food, but really nice beer battered. Really liking the color green this afternoon. That is the culprit. That's what we're getting them on. Righto, Queenie. Thanks for the good times, mate. I just want to keep doing this. This is so fun. So this morning, before I launched, I was genuinely worried that I wasn't going to catch any fish. You always have that feeling of, oh, I really hope I can catch a fish. You'll get some oysters or a crab or shoot a pig on the beach and eat that if it's in good condition. But fortunately, deciding to camp here, I've fallen on my feet. There's lots of fish. Barramundi, trevally, queenfish. I'm sure there's a hell of a lot more. I'm looking forward to tomorrow exploring further up this system as well. See if there's any mud crabs, see what the environment's like. Yeah, of course, catch a fish, but plenty more to still happen today. Woo-hoo-hoo! Oh geez, it's a half decent fish. Just coming around the edge of an edge of a rock bar. Ah! Ah! On that note, let's go back to camp. Cleverly disguised as a rock bar. I am now not proudly sitting on top of a rock bar. Fortunately, the tide is rushing in, but I goosed it. I'm literally sitting on a rock bar. Fortunately, this boat is extremely strong. Look at that, it's like a big rock plate. That's fishing for you. I'd get out and push, however, I've been warned that, as I said before, plenty of massive crocs in every single one of these rivers up this stretch of coastline. Well, that was humbling. Caught a fish, lost a lure, ended up on a rock bar. You beauty. Time to head back to camp. Let's get out of here. Nick Bruce anchor, overkill chain. Always have your anchor rope, chain and anchor a lot bigger than you think you need. You'll thank me. I've got some potatoes in the cast iron pot boiling, and I've got the barra just on a stick, about a foot or two from the fire. It's a fair bit of heat. We'll just let that cook for half an hour. I boiled the potatoes for 15 minutes, and then I'm just gonna squash them at the bottom of the water bottle. It's probably my favorite way to do potato. In butter is ideal, but it's too hot to keep butter. I've got no cold storage. Just cook it in a bit of olive oil. Plenty of salt, plenty of pepper. To be honest with you, I'm feeling a little bit lonely and very lightly anxious. Although there's been some great highs today and it feels surreal to be out here again, especially solo. Maybe it's the feeling of adjusting to being completely alone and very isolated again. I haven't had that in probably a year, to this level of isolation. So maybe it's just adjusting to that, the feelings of loneliness I'm having, but overall very grateful to be out here. Look, got fish cooking, got some potatoes, got a fire, got a beautiful camp, amazing anchorage. Behind the scenes, one thing that's happened this afternoon is I've realized my inverter for some reason doesn't work in the boat. I don't have a manual for it. I obviously have no reception out here, and I can't charge any of my batteries. So yeah, I'll either find a way to fix it in the morning and the filming continues of this experience, or I keep going for a week or two and I don't film it. Ideally that doesn't happen, but anyway, we'll play it by ear. It doesn't always go to plan on these trips, but this barra's almost done, the spuds are done, and there's a fair bit of hunger getting around the camp. Out here doing it anyway. Out here doing it. So I finished probably 70% of that barra. I ate as much as I possibly could. I'm gonna hang the rest up in a tree, and if it's still good, I'll eat the rest for breakfast in the morning. But before I go to bed, I like to do a quick check of the boat and just see how it's anchored. It's all sitting pretty nicely. Keep the anchor light on. See if we can see any crocs. The bright white light should reflect off their eyes and they'll go bright red. You just need to be looking down the barrel of the light though. None at the moment, but here's where the boat is. And just there's where the camp is, and the tide will probably come up to, yeah, just where this lip is here in front of that buoy. Hopefully far enough away, no crocs tonight. I'm very much looking forward to being horizontal. See you in the morning. Oh, what? That's a 12 gauge shotgun cartridge. Someone's been hunting. But what I want to show you is last night, I heard a bit of rustling in the camp and they're dog prints. Dingo or wild dog, I'm not sure, but looks like there was two of them. Good to see the boat still where it should be after seeing the dog prints through the camp. I have to be honest with you, I'm a bit nervous because if they're desperate, I'll definitely try and have a go at you. And I'd really not like to be on the front page of the news for being attacked out here by myself by a pack of dogs. Anyway, I'm going to go check on the other side. It's the open side of the beach. This is where I came last night to get some firewood. Yeah, we'll check out over here, see what this stretch of beach is like. This is the mouth of the river. Got a pretty high tide. And this beach just stretches, keeps going for hundreds of miles. While it's so calm along the edge of the beach in a high tide, that means you can run the boat really close to the shore and cruise up along it. So really keen to explore more of this coastline. There could be pigs along the beach, there could be mud crabs walking at high tide, crocs, all sorts of stuff. So we'll go back to the boat, pull anchor, we'll go for a cruise. Near where I caught that barra before, there's birds just bombing bait the whole way along the edge of the bank. Just spotted a dog. There's a dog on the beach. I'll try and get a closer look at it. It's about 10 meters from the edge of the water. Looks like a dingo. He knows I'm here, he's checking me out. That dingo wasn't too worried about me. I'd say that was what was in the camp last night. We'll keep cruising up the coast. I'd love to just keep cruising up this coastline, but I really need to be wise about how much fuel that I use. I've gone about 5 miles this way now. We'll do a U-turn and head back. Yeah, fuel on this trip's a very precious commodity. No fuel, no getting home. Feel the water just racing past the back of the boat, flooding out the river. It's about a 3 meter tide at the moment. We've got new moons and the current is just ripping. I might have mentioned them before, but it's been an absolute lifesaver having these. They're jack plates. These ones are done by Sea Star, Dometic Marine. Look at this. I can basically change the height of my transom. So useful. And the bigger the boat would get, the more useful it'd be. But for navigating up creeks, going over rock bars, it's fantastic. You keep maneuverability of the vessel. I've hooked something. I'm just having a troll around the mouth of the river. Oh geez. What do we got? Oh, good size queenie. Good queenie. Oh, oh, ah! Far out. Did you see that? Did you see lunch balance on the edge of the boat and decide not lunch? Oh well, line's out again. Yep. Fish on. Oh jeez, look at that. That's steaming. I actually need to get this in before we end up too far out the mouth of the river, hit that rock bar, end up on the rock bar. Oh, I reckon it could be another queenie. What do you reckon it is? Oh, I'm going near the rock bar. Come on, not under the boat. Can you see this reel? Oh, not under the prop. No, 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 no. I don't know what this is, but this is a good fish. There's a lot of weight to it. I'm really curious to see what it is. The water's a bit dirty to get a visual. I reckon, oh, golden trevally. That's an absolute thumper of a golden. Oh, why are you so big? It's too big. It's too big to eat. This is literally, I reckon, my rod's capacity. It has just been buckled over. Woo! Oh, I'm super happy with that. It's a beautiful fish. I'd be even happier if it was about half the size though. This would feed, I reckon, 3 or 4 people. So, mate, it's your lucky day going back in the water. Super healthy because I only just hooked it right in the edge of that tough, blubbery lip. He's still in great condition. All right, mate, back in the water. Off like a rocket. Feel shame to inform you that I didn't finish all that barra. I got about 80% of the way through it, and it was just a bit rank this morning, to be honest. So I'm going to recycle it by putting it in the middle of one of these dilly pots. Ideally, we'll throw the barra frame there. It's cooked, but it should still smell and entice the crabs. Crabs will walk into the middle. Gotcha. Let's throw it in. We'll give it 15-20 minutes and come back and check it. I've probably only got 30 minutes left in this creek before it starts going completely dry and I get stuck up here. So just fish 1 or 2 more snags. We're gonna go in the mangroves. No crabs. It's barely been touched, just a couple of nibbles, but maybe they don't like the 1.5 hour slow cooked smoked barra. We need to get out of this creek really quick or I'm stuck in it for the next 6 hours. Back to camp. The pulley system that I've got set up has been seriously a lifesaver. It's pretty hard to work in strong current, but it just means I've got this really big mooring out there with a float on it, and there's a pulley on it. And then I've got 100 meters, this 12 mil anchor rope. It just acts as a big loop, so I can pull the boat out and keep it out in deeper water so it doesn't go dry, or I can pull it in close so I don't need to wade out into the crock water. And then I just need to secure this here on land to a picket or a tree, or what I've got is another anchor. I've just jumped in the boat. I've got a backpack with a little bit of fishing gear, machete, fishing rod. We've got the anchor rope nice and secured. So we'll go fish one of these little drains on low tide. So I've dug it in here, and that's a pretty deep hardwood log. So I'm hoping if it does drag, it's going to catch on here. It's too small. This is undersized. So I need to let it go, unfortunately. Again, it'd be great pan size, but this hasn't had the opportunity to breed up much. So in the theme of trying to help the ecosystem and doing what's legal, we'll let it go. They're just such a special fish, hey? Sorry, bud, I'm gonna have to throw you. I'm not risking it with the crocs. Quicksand. Pretty much exactly what you don't want to get caught in. Real soft sand where the crocs could get you. So this is that little creek I was just fishing up the edge of, and the tide was meant to be low an hour ago and it's still rushing out, which is not great because my boat is now high and dry, but when the tide does start flooding back in, it'll rise very quickly. Hopefully that's not too long away. A bit smaller than those two that I got yesterday. Still a really nice fish. Back in the water, mate. Just gonna quickly run up and check the boat. It's always a very welcome sight. Boat's still there, tide's dropped about a foot, and we're right at the bottom of the tide now. I absolutely love these really big tides because when you get the lows, especially during the middle of the day, you get a really good gauge of what the bottom of these river systems look like. Oh, it's gonna be pretty far away to see, but right in the distance I can see a black spot up on the bank. I'm gonna get the drone up, I reckon it's a croc. I absolutely love seeing saltwater crocodiles in crystal clean water. You can just see how they move, how they tuck their feet in, how they move their tail to get power. How they camouflage in at the bottom. Such an impressive animal. They scare the absolute shit out of me, don't get me wrong. I'm terrified of them, even though I've grown up with them. But yeah, I'm on high caution, as they are one of the reasons why what I'm doing for the next week or two is classed as a high risk activity. I believe that's the technical term, a high risk activity. Speaking of high risk activities, let's trudge into these mangroves, see if we can find some food. I'm having a walk along the high tide line here, and there's a washed up sprouted coconut. It hasn't shot a taproot yet, but they're the palm fronds. I'm going to crack this open and see if it's not rotten inside. There might be coconut fairy floss or musu or nirvana. There's lots of different names for the middle, but it's best known as delicious. Oh. It's unfortunately a bit fermented. See, that there is the taproot. That's what would have gone into the ground and grown roots and then gave nutrients to up here to keep growing. And this here is the coconut fairy floss, but as you can see, it's all dark and brown and it smells pretty disgusting. Maybe that section, maybe this section's all right. Not all right. Not all right. We'll keep looking. I'm finding a lot of products that are made out of styrofoam, which is the most found item rubbish in the ocean because it breaks up into so many little pieces. So where you can, just don't use it. On a positive note, I found one left slip-on shoe that fits my foot exactly. Not a left side, but for a baby. That's so small. So many plastic bottles, and see what I mean? Like, this would have been a much larger styrofoam buoy, but all of these little pieces, they break into one. So there's just tens of thousands in this, and then this will break down to microplastic as well. I mark all these spots that are heavy with rubbish, just so I've got a reference of it and can hand it into beach cleanup mobs. But it starts with us putting pressure on the people at the top. Fishing net floats. Come on, glass bubble, where's the glass bubble? I've walked up off the beach and I'm in the middle of, a little drain that's completely dried out. And for once, I'm not knee deep in mud. I'm trying to keep an eye out for more mud mussels. You can eat these as well. Jackpot. Jackpot. All right, I'll get enough for a feed. I'm stoked. The good thing is as well, that I can just keep these in a bucket of water and then eat them in the next couple of days as well. I don't have to eat them this afternoon. So it's a good way of, I guess, storing, banking up a little bit of food just in case. See if we can find some more. Yes. See, that's what we're looking for. See how that's just out? Oh, it's the size of my hand. Can you see the other one? I'll get a few more and then that's a feed. Well, well, well. Look who just upgraded the mud mussel basket. Woo! Woo! Oh, what a take. Took it right at the shoreline, a big queenie. Is it a big queenie? Could be a big trevally. Oh! Nah, nice trevally. Oh! This fish is definitely big enough to straighten the hook, so I need to tire it out. Oh mate, I am eating you. Woo-hoo! I just want to say, this is awesome. Yes! Oh, that's a thumper. That is a thumper. I think it's a little bit bigger than the one I got this morning. Only this one is getting eaten. I just put a knife to the brain, put it to sleep. I'm gonna get all the blood out of it, and then I've got some limes from the tree at home. So this is gonna become a ceviche because I've got a feeling I'm gonna be stuck here on that sand for a couple of hours. So I'll cook this in lime juice rather than a fire one side, and then I'll do the other half on the fire later. I chopped up a few limes, a lemon, and onion, had some sesame oil. My soy sauce and chili is on the other side of the river, and the boat is still high and dry. So this is what's gonna be the meal. I'm gonna leave that for 15 minutes while I go for a fish. And I can just see that we're at the bottom of the tide and it's stopped running out. So it'll run in really quick now. Have a feed, get back to camp. That there is fantastic. I'd say this is going to be the first of a few episodes. I hope you're enjoying them. Jump onto our website, sign up to the mailing list. Got some really exciting stuff coming soon. Facebook, Instagrams, all the rest of it. Patreon. Big love to you guys. Stay safe. Be kind to each other. I'll see you out here.